welcome to the Lee Michaels Show. I am Lee Michaels. We're broadcasting live from Los Angeles, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon. And that is Pacific time, of course. If you're on the East Coast, it's 1 p.m., right after your lunchtime. So you can come back to your desk, sit back and rub your belly, and listen to Carol and I as we entertain and inform you yet on another day. Live from Los Angeles, it is the Lee Michaels Show. Good afternoon, good morning, hello, good night, depending on where you are. You could be anywhere in the world. You know, it's just, you never know. And that's the great thing about the internet, because it's worldwide. So, Carol, you all in position?
I'm working at it. I'm still chewing the rest of my sandwich. Am I on?
Yes, you're on.
Am I turned up?
No, that I can't guarantee. Now you are.
This is how testing.
In your man voice.
You like my man voice?
It's not bad.
Does it sound like a man?
A weak man, of course.
You think that's true, or is
What?
that where all these dozens of cops were arrested in the last few days over the weekend for domestic violence, molesting children, pornography?
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, they're human, but it just goes to show you that the effect of, I guess, investigating the cops and keeping tabs on them.
Well, I think sometimes
I don't think they're doing a good job.
because they're policemen,
Yeah,
they're
you
above
assume.
the law.
Yeah, you assume that they're, good people and diligent to safety and all of that, but they do stupid stuff like everybody else. That's why I think if it doesn't happen, I don't know that it does or it doesn't.
Well, one of them was a veteran CHP officer.
I think they need to go through psychological evaluation and personal investigations on them from time to time. It could be random, or it could be all of them all the time.
I don't understand, though. What do people get out of looking at a baby or a child? Like in the last year, I'm going to pull up one day and I'm going to show you how many babies have been molested and killed.
That's disgusting.
From somebody sexually assaulting them. 3 weeks old, 3 months. It's just every day. What do you get out of touching a child?
That's a sick human being. And when I'll say a sick person, I don't know how human they are. Let me say thank you.
Don't close those brownies yet. Oh.
See? I'm not closing them.
He's going to hide them.
No, I'm not. One of our clients here at thepowervoices.com, and I have to consider her a friend as well. I've known her since 2013 when I was working last in the Chicago market. That's where I met her, working at another network, and she was nice enough to come over and join us here. Laura Rice, who does the Full Body Frequency talk show, comes on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at noon, follows this very show, and in fact, it follows us today. Today is Wednesday. And she asked me a few days ago what kind of cake I like. I said, yellow cake, chocolate icing. She goes, oh, your mom must have made that for you. I said, yeah, she did. That's what I like. She would always ask me, what do you want for your birthday? Yellow cake, chocolate icing.
When's your birthday?
May 28th.
Oh.
You missed it.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm a little late.
But so she sent these brownies, and I said, well, I really like brownies with walnuts or pecans. And so she sent this thing, I guess it's from a bakery called Sweet Lady Jane. Now, where are they located? I'll give them a plug while we're at it. Fine desserts for over 28 years.
And you can
Came
buy
in a nice
online?
little package. I guess so, yeah. See, it comes in a nice package, came in FedEx. So, Laura, thank you very much. It was very nice, and thank you for turning me into a diabetic. Because I will eat them all. Carol's already been in the box, too.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
I have not.
There's 3
I'm
missing.
going to be in the box, but I haven't yet.
I've had one, and I haven't finished eating that. And there's 3 missing. What did you do?
I didn't eat one. That's why I thought you did.
No, I did. I have not.
But it
No, they're
does look
good.
like some are missing.
Yeah, because some are a lot thicker than others. So it's like,
He's lying. He ate those
no,
really
I
fast.
didn't. I'd tell you if I did it because I'm proud of being a pig.
That's why I can't bake.
You can't bake?
No, because if I bake, I make extra frosting and I'm licking on that after. If I don't give it away right away, it goes into Carol. So
Right? All right. Sweet Lady Jane, Jane. And I guess they have a website, sweetladyjane.com. Where's 323? Is that here?
that's here.
Oh, they're here in L.A. Okay, yeah.
Well, there's a bakery on Crenshaw. I think it's still there. And she makes the best cheesecake I've ever ate in my whole life.
Really? I like cheesecake, too. Yeah, these are bars and brownies. It's a gift box. Thank you, Laura Rice from Full Body Frequency. No problem.
Wow. I just read something that's very disturbing to me.
What is that?
They've seen this big turtle and his nose was bleeding.
Oh,
And they thought maybe a worm or something was. Somebody took a straw and pushed it up his nose.
oh no.
You know, I don't understand. Like these two kids, they took 3 little puppies, put it on Facebook, YouTube. They threw them up in the air and hacked their heads off with a machete. Now these little punks, if those were my dogs, I'd probably find a way to let their heads get hacked off.
That's
I mean, what do they
disgusting.
live around, and what is their future? What is it telling you about these kids? Yeah,
Really?
they took it down. They literally put it for the public to see, and people turned them in. And it was these two young men threw them up in the air. These 3 cute puppies that probably didn't even belong to them,
Yeah.
and whacked their heads off with a machete. So kids like that, don't you wonder? Like Jeffrey
What
Dahmer.
they're going to grow up to be, yeah.
What they said when Jeffrey Dahmer, when he was younger, didn't he like killing things
I think he did.
and eating them?
Yeah.
Because remember, he ate some people.
Yeah, he was his sick,
Remember
twisted,
the one kid
demented
that got
mother.
away, the little Asian kid, and they brought him back to him,
Mm,
and he killed him.
that's sick. And that's the question of the show. Why?
Why? Yes.
Why do people do stuff like that? Why? What are they thinking? That's not human. It's not normal. It's not right to do stuff like that. It's
Like-
twisted.
Like, why? Why do you have to go in my granddaughter's and other young people's Facebook or Instagram and say terrible things? I mean, when you look at the person, you try to see who it is. They've made up a fake name, and I always know how, because they'll make it where you can't follow them, or they'll make it where you could see, and they might have 90 followers, but every one of them are fake.
Mm.
So my question is why? What do you get out of bullying somebody online if you're so big and bad?
They're cowards.
Why don't you just come up to their face? I mean,
No, they can't do that.
Because it's like, why do you continue to do this? We've had more young men kill themselves this year over being bullied online and at school. It's like, remember years ago they had slam books, and I was guilty of that. Well, actually, I wasn't. It was me they were slamming when I think about it. I didn't
got
get
slammed?
invited to that. Yeah, where they would have a book, and they'd put your name in it, and they would write comments.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people, it was all nice because maybe she was a cheerleader, but they were never nice about me. So it's like, why?
So
I
wait a
didn't
minute.
bother
Slam
them.
book. I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, sure.
term.
A lot of people would remember slam books.
So it was this like the pre-internet days, and
No, it was before the internet, because the internet hasn't been around that long.
so they would start a book and write negative things
Yeah,
about
it's
you.
a slam book. They literally put your name or different, and they slam you.
That's sick.
They probably talked about my sponges.
Your sponges.
Remember, I stuffed myself.
Yes, Lee Michaels is eating brownies on the air. And one of the first rules in broadcasting is you don't eat on the air. But I'm doing it because I'm a brownie fanatic, a holic. I love brownies. And these have walnuts in it. And that makes it even more better. That's one of my weaknesses, folks.
Oh, today's International Day of Peace.
Yes.
It was supposed to be in Syria, and did you see where they bombed those UN trucks carrying food
Yeah, the
in?
Russians.
Well, that's what they're saying. They think
Yeah.
it's the Russians.
Twisted. And there's another why. Why would you do that? Did you do it intentionally, Mr. Russia? Or did you make a boo-boo? Was it a mistake?
Yeah, because we've made mistakes.
Of course. But if you made a mistake, say it. Say, hey, look, bad intelligence, we screwed up.
Well, the sad thing is now those trucks, the UN doesn't want the trucks to go in. 12 people were killed driving those trucks. I think there was, 24 trucks, and 12 got totally tore up.
Yeah. Mm.
Oh, geez, Andrea, that one opera singer is going to be at the Honda Center. It just popped up. I would love to go see him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm not into opera.
Him,
It would
I'm
put me to
into.
sleep.
He's amazing.
I'd nod out probably in the first 20 minutes.
Not if you heard there's these 4 young guys.
Yeah,
They do opera in a way you couldn't even imagine.
really?
It's amazing.
I don't know.
You would like
Is it
them.
in Italian?
No, they do it in English,
English.
and they kind of do like hip hop and art, but it's opera the way they do
Modern day.
it. Yes.
It might be okay. I don't know. I'd check it out. If I get bored, I'd leave. Crotchety old man. Well, I was watching the news last night, and it's just one story after the other. Just makes you go, why? Why? So that's the theme of the show today. Why are so many people crazy? Shootings here in the LA area a couple days ago. Some guy goes to an elementary school and tried to kidnap a kid. You know, 4th grader. Fortunately, the kid resisted, and the guy was unsuccessful. I hope they catch him. And he's a knucklehead because he got all kind of tattoos all over him, very easily identifiable. On his neck is name of Maria.
Well, he might get caught. You know, a lot of them, they kidnap these young kids to take them across the border and sell them.
That's right. Human trafficking. You know, I was watching another video on YouTube. This guy was doing a live stream on Facebook, of course. And I think it was somewhere down south. And I'm gathering that based on his accent. It's a black guy. And he was belly aching about this cop who he said was harassing him. He was sitting in the parking lot of AutoZone. And he said he had been sitting there for 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden, the cop car comes up. It tells him he didn't put on his turn signal, I guess, to come into that parking lot. So he says, man, I've been sitting here for 10 minutes. I've seen you go by. You know, you just harassing me. And the guy says, well, give me your ID. He says, no. What am I being charged for? So he resisted. He didn't give him his ID. But here's what's stupid. And you go, why? So as he's streaming this thing, he admits that he's got some drugs in the damn car. So I gotta hide my stash. I'm going, dude, you're streaming live over the internet. Why would you say something like that? Then he kept forcing telling the cop that he wanted to talk to his sergeant or, you know, somebody above him. He didn't want to talk to him. So he sat there for 4 or 5 minutes, and then some other cops come up, and the one cop comes up to his side of the window and says, hey, roll your window down. And he says, no, you have to talk to me. You had it cracked. So while this one cop is talking to him, occupying his mind, another cop opens the other side of the door, and they grab him and arrest him. But you go, why? Why would you, first of all, stream something and admit that you have some illegal substance in your possession? So they're going to bust him on that. They're going to bust him on resisting arrest and whatever else they find. And maybe he did the turn signal violation. Maybe he did. But if that's all it was, you get your little soft ticket and you move on. But why put up such a fight over something like that? And he called the cop all kind of names and everything. So when you do that, you're going to aggravate the cops.
Well, these are people that are watching the news and they think they'll get away with it. They jump in on what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And even though that's wrong.
You put yourself in a bad position when you do that. And it's not smart. And you got to ask yourself, what's the bottom line here? What am I trying to achieve? What's the point of resisting? What's the point of making a big stink? Now, I saw another video. 2 white guys go into a convenience store. There's a cop in the convenience store, and one of the guys is videotaping, recording, streaming live, while the other guy flips off the cop, gives him the middle finger, and goes over acting as if he was going to buy soda or whatever, come back to the counter, flip him off again, and the cop says, "Hey, man, why are you doing that?" He questioned him and said, "Show me ID." And he said, "No, I'm not going to show you my ID. What am I being charged for?" He says, "Well, you flipped me off." He says, "That comes under my First Amendment. I can say what I want to say." I said, "Yeah, but why you, being offensive to me? I didn't do anything to you." This is the cop saying it to him. He said, "I don't like you. I think you're crooked." And he goes off on him, right? So now keep in mind, all of this is being streamed. And the other guy is participating in the back and forth as well. That's doing the streaming. Do you know they didn't arrest these guys? And this went on for 8 or 10 minutes. They eventually gave them their ID. One guy didn't have a driver's license or ID, so he just gave him his name and address and social security number. So they looked him up, and I guess they came back clean. But they basically walked away. But if Carol tried that, or if I tried that, I don't know that the end results would be the same. So again, I ask the question, why? Why are there double standards? Why is it that
What nationality were they?
they were white?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's why. I can't say that. I've seen them throw white guys on the ground too.
I have to.
So I can't say that. They pick and choose. I've seen, it's just like that sheriff, the cop at the jail that killed that man. He was black.
Dehydrated. Yeah. Up in
And I think the cop
Milwaukee,
that
Wisconsin.
killed the guy the other day, wasn't he black?
Which one?
The one the other day.
I can't keep track
The
of
one
them anymore.
that killed the guy that they said had a gun when he stepped out of the car. Because when they first reported that, supposedly I heard people saying that he was scared, so he had a gun, but he put the gun back. But then it all changed. And it wasn't the cop saying that.
Well, who knows? I mean, the guy's dead, right?
He's dead.
Yeah. So how do you know what his thoughts were?
You know,
You'll
like I
never
tell
know
my
that.
son, if you get stopped, step out of the car. Don't reach in your glove box. Tell him where your stuff is. Unless you got hidden drugs, then don't. But step out of the car. Don't put your hands by your pockets. Just put your hands up. I mean, not that that's going to protect you, because living proof is what happened the other day with the man that his car was stalled.
Yeah, he was out of the car,
But I
hands in
don't
the air.
believe she's going to get away with this, the cop.
I don't see how she can.
She's not. They're trying to say now he had PCP in the car, and everybody goes planted. The lawyer can show you where the window was shut when they say he went to reach it. The window was shut. All the man was doing was trying to stop them because his car was stalled, basically.
Trying to get help from the cops and get killed. Why? I'll tell you why in that situation. Cops overreacting. Scared. Ill-trained. Irresponsible. I could go on. It has to be. What else could it be? What? They had already tased the guy, and then they shot him. How many people can respond in a negative way after being tased? Unless they're on some, what's that, bath salt or something. But this guy, from what we hear thus far, wasn't drunk, not under the influence. So he was in a normal situation. I don't get it. That's why we are asking the question, why? And such a powerful three-letter word, question mark, sometimes that stumps the conversation because you can't really come up with logical reasons why some of these things happen. And it's unfortunate. It really is. You're listening to the Lee Michaels Show with Carol. And we're live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon Pacific time. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy the show, or even if you don't, if you hate the show, just share it. I don't care whether you like it or not. Share the show so some of your friends can tune in. And maybe they'll like it, even if you don't. Just because you like iced tea, some people don't. That's okay. And we talk about a lot of different things. If you're new to the show, first time tuning in, again, thank you for taking your time to stop and check us out. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, at thepowerofvoices.com, and I'm trying out a new system called Bamboozer. And we're also streaming over there live audio, video as well. So you can catch us in at least three places with video and audio straight from our site, thepowerofvoices.com. And download our app. You can listen to us on that as well. It's free, available for Android and Apple. So there you go. That's how you can stay in touch with us and keep on top of the latest what's going on.
Yeah, because I can't understand when people sit on the radio and they keep talking about the athlete that didn't want to stand. But those same people, they don't talk about these killings that happened in the last few days. It's like they're almost afraid to talk about it.
Well, some people are. And some people don't know what to say because they're a little afraid of.
They'll lose their job.
Yeah. Could be some of that, of course. And that's sad because we do have a certain amount of protection under the First Amendment to speak what we feel and think without having to worry about being prosecuted. I mean, that goes within a certain amount of limitations, of course. You can't make a threat to the President of the United States or other high-level officials.
But they have done that with Obama.
Oh, of course.
And they don't even get in trouble.
Well, many of them do. They at least get investigated by the CIA, FBI, Secret Service, and to find out just how much of a serious threat it is. And many of them are prosecuted. We don't hear too much about it. But our current president has been attacked verbally and more attacks on his life than any other president in history. And that's nothing but hate. I don't care how you look at it. There's no other reason other than racism and hate. And President Barack Obama has done nothing to warrant that kind of hate. It is. It's ridiculous.
I'm looking at something. It's like, why?
Yeah.
There's a man walking around in Walmart, and he's holding his little girl by her hair and dragging her.
Through Walmart.
People are like, mad, and this woman tells him, "Stop it!" And he told her, "Mind your own business." And people called the police, but I guess one police has said he can discipline his child. He's not slapping her.
Mm.
But I'm wondering, what do you think of that? I mean, he's literally pulling her by her hair.
That's. I think that's a little over the top.
I do too. I've done the little twist, the hidden twist.
Yeah, a little pinch, a little slap on the butt. But pulling your child by the hair? No. No.
Yeah, he's literally pulling her by her hair.
No, that's uncalled for.
He's basically pulling her almost like it was a leash. And she's telling him she won't do it again, whatever she did.
She probably won't, but I think you can get the same results without yanking your child by the hair.
To me, if he would do that in public, what is he doing to his kids at home?
Good question.
Behind closed doors.
Good question. That's a powerful question. Chances are more brutal punishment than what was witnessed there in public. That would be my bet. I bet that is exactly what goes on. Because if you have no shame, number one, to embarrass your child and yourself in public, then behind closed doors ain't no telling what's going down. If those walls could talk, or if that child eventually goes to school or reports him to the cops and show proof of some brutality, then that would be the end of that. It'd be over. Hey, listen, I got spanked when I was a kid. Most of us did in my age bracket.
I call it a beating.
Whooping.
But I'm a
Got
lie.
whooped. Yeah, we all went through that. But, I was never beat with a whip or ironing cord or electrical cord. I know some kids that were punished like that, but not my parents. They didn't think that was appropriate or necessary. And I was smart enough not to be a real badass child. I made mistakes. My mistakes were things like when my buddy T-Bone and James and we would go what we called out into the woods. It was a wooded area, and it had little streams where we used to go fishing for little guppies. And we'd tell our parents where we were going, and they said, okay, we'll be back by 1. And I said, okay. And we'd lose track of time. I don't think any of us had a watch. So we just kind of had to guess at the time. Don't be gone too long. Okay, Mom. So we go out there and go guppy fishing, catching them in little cans and stuff. And we might stay out there an hour longer than we were supposed to. Then we got punished. Said, we told you to be back by X time, and you didn't. So you're grounded. Or they'd be waiting for you right there at the pass coming out of the woods with switches. I mean, it's the way it was. I mean, every now and then we might get in a little tussle, a little fight with each other, and we get punished for doing that. No fighting. That was the rule. You don't fight with your friends. But, we get into arguments over stupid stuff. Playing basketball or baseball or whatever. Didn't matter. You're going to have differences. But we settled them in 20 minutes. We're back to playing again. But nowadays, I hate going to my email because I got a friend that lives in Chicago. And he is like the crime tracker. He sends out these emails about how many people are shot, how many killed in Chicago. It breaks my heart. Every other day, he's updating this list or so. Over the weekend, 59 shot, 27
But now
dead.
who's killing them?
Well, these are young people killing each other. And it's sad. And why? What? are you upset about that you would have to take someone's life? What has driven you crazy to do that? And on a continuous basis, what you're doing is wiping out your own population. Why? Listen, here in California, Southern California, the Bloods and the Crips were going through the same kind of stuff for years. But it's not like that anymore. There might be still some little punk-ass gang members out there throwing up signs and stuff, but they're not doing stuff like they did 15, 20 years ago. You know why? They came to the realization that it doesn't make sense. And there were community people. It's like the live broadcast we did last Wednesday or Thursday? From a church, and they had 400 or 500 people out there. Community leaders, organizations, former gang members that have set up 501c3 organizations, raising money, feeding the hungry, helping the homeless, buying books for kids, teaching them trades, helping them find jobs. That's what you need to be doing. Not killing each other. Build up your community, not tear it down. Why? Why are you doing these stupid things? And then you give other people the excuse to hate you. To say, look at them. They're all the same. Don't do that. Now, I was just reading this morning. In the city of Chicago, they're about to hire 2,000 extra cops. For what reason? To come in and kill you. You think you can win that war? You better get a grip and have some respect for life, your own first, and others. That's what you need to think about. That's what you need to practice. But the senseless killing, the get back, well, you killed my cousin Bebe, and I'm going to kill your sister. What?
It isn't even just that. Look at the woman sitting with, and they were drive-by shooting, but accidentally shot her. Young mother, maybe 40 years old.
Yeah.
And
these guys don't know what they're doing with a gun anyway.
She did housework to support her kids. She had 3 kids.
Yeah.
So
tragic.
Innocent people.
Yes.
I didn't know Don King was at that church speaking, and I didn't realize he's for Trump.
No, he's been a Republican forever.
Have you heard his speech?
Trump's speech?
No, Don King's.
Well, Don King's been a Republican forever.
He used the N-word. He said we need Donald Trump, especially black people.
You know what, Don King? A long time ago, we started a program called Just Say No to Drugs. You must be doing drugs, man. What's wrong with you? Are you kidding me? Yeah, but he's been out there on the edge like that for a long time.
He's funny. He said the reason he wants them, they told me you got to try to imitate and emulate the white man. Then you could be successful, which he feels that's why he's successful.
He's emulating the white man.
He said, if you're poor, you're a poor Negro. I would use the N-word, but if you're rich, you're a rich Negro. If you're intelligent and intellectual, you're intellectual Negro. Then King misspoke. He said the N-word. If you're dancing and sliding, and then he said the N-word. I mean, Negro, you are glancing and gliding Negro. What is wrong with this man?
They
said Trump was all smiley.
I'm sure he was. Anytime you are willing to denigrate, disrespect yourself, other people are going to laugh at you. Okay? But if you think that's going to make someone else, a white person, like you more, no.
He was in prison before?
All you're doing is saying what they wish they could say, but they can't get away with it. But you are a buffoon, a damn fool, and you have no respect for yourself. Look in the mirror, Don King. All of those things that you have said, that's who you are. For having a pea brain to even stand on a stage and say those things is totally disgusting. And I ask you, why? Because you hate yourself.
Was he in prison before?
I'm not sure. He may have been.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever have a box of candy somebody gives you?
Yeah.
So when it's your own box, you can bite off of it, and if you don't like it, you just put it back.
Yeah, if you're not going to share it, it's your candy. You do what the hell you want with it.
Don't you hate it when someone? It's like I grabbed a brownie.
You bit on it and you put it
No, I
back.
didn't bit. I picked.
You
No, I
picked on
didn't
it.
put it back. I'll eat it.
You're going to eat it.
And I said, I wonder if
We'll
he'll
make
get
you
mad.
eat it.
I said to myself, why? Will he get mad if I put it back and take another one? Because I don't like jelly in my brownies.
Well, could you see that it was jelly in the
No,
brownies?
you'd probably be guilty of it too. See if you see
I
jelly.
see it. Yeah.
Well,
I see
I
it from
wasn't
here.
looking. I seen it from the top.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got to eat the jelly one.
You got to eat it. We're going to put the camera on you.
I could have snuck and put it back and
You
just
could
let
have.
you think it was broke.
But that would have been wrong. I'm
It
glad
would've.
you're an honest person.
No, but I'm just curious. Have you done that? Most people
No, I haven't.
have.
No, I
You've
have
never
not.
bought a box of chocolates or somebody
No.
gave you one and like me and you put it on the table, you're going to share it.
Mm-mm. I'll share my candy
And
with
you
anyone.
pick up
of
one, you
course.
buy, and you put it
I'll
back.
throw it out. If I don't like it, I'm not going to put it back in the box. I'm not going to like it later. So, and then I'm sure nobody wants to eat off of a bitten off piece of candy. So I throw it away.
I'll bet you a lot of people are guilty, though, of putting it back
I
in the
bet.
box.
I bet. I mean, the only time somebody's
You
going
never notice that when you look at your box of candy that you're sharing. All of a sudden you look, you
to
go,
a bunch of pieces
wow,
with
that
bites out
one
of
looks like it's cut in half.
them. Well, if it's cut, that's one thing. But bitten out of, that's another.
I didn't bite this. I picked.
Same thing.
And I said, oh,
You fingered it.
I picked the wrong one.
You know, I'll tell you this. When you do something like that and then somebody else eats the rest of it, that's love. You love that person that you just ate the candy from.
Well, I've done that, but it's my box of candy. So
Yeah.
if people think I'm wrong, then you shouldn't eat my box of candy. Now, I don't like nobody, like people say, oh, can I have a drink? I go, not out of my cup.
Right.
Or they'll just pick up my bottle and go, you put your lips on it. It belongs to you, and you're
Yeah,
buying
you
me a
got it.
different one.
You
'cause
got it. It's
I'm not
yours.
drinking behind anybody.
Yeah.
And if you bite my sandwich, you can have it.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. I wouldn't get upset
No,
about
a lot
that.
of people don't
Yeah.
mind. I was watching the kids the other day, and the one little girl didn't want to do a waterfall. You know,
Mm-hmm.
where they
Pour
only
it from
had
the
two
bottle?
bottles of Gatorade.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like the one didn't get one, and she said, give me a waterfall. And the other little girl said, her nose wrinkled. She said, no. But, you know, I'd seen how upset the one got. I said, give her a waterfall. And then I thought about, well, I wouldn't want her getting a waterfall for my drink either. Even though they don't put their lips on it, it's still
Yeah.
the fact. It's, ugh.
Yeah.
I felt bad after
Well-
that I made them.
Yeah, the doctors.
But
and,
they were doing waterfalls earlier. I had seen them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
they
don't
just didn't
know.
want to share. But, you know, the medical professionals will tell you sharing drink bottles and straws and whatever is not a sanitary thing to do. And that's how a number of diseases are passed from one person to another. So you need to be mindful of that. But I have eaten and drank behind people, but that's when I was in love.
Did you swap gum?
No, I've never done that. No,
Oh, how did I
No.
do that?
I don't chew gum. I have, but I haven't in probably.
I used to, and one day
25
somebody
years.
said something to me. They go, why do you chew that gum all the time? I
Yeah.
go, what do you mean? They said, every time I see you, you're chewing gum. They go, look at what you look like. I never chew gum. I have never chewed gum since.
Ask her if she has a minute. I'd like to have her come in for a second on the show. We're going to hijack you.
Hi.
Grab that mic over here. I know you're on the run.
I was going to give her mine and step
Okay.
over here and eat my brownie.
Okay, well, whatever you want to do. But
Even though it
we
has
could
jelly
switch
on
the
it.
mics around. How are you this morning?
like jelly.
I am fine.
Well, come up to the mic here, and
That would help.
I didn't want to hijack you, but the
Yeah.
Topic of the show today is why.
Static.
Static?
I hear it. Am I up? Hello. Ah, there we go.
Is that better?
Hello, hello.
How are you today, Tamara?
I am doing good, Lollipop.
She is the host of Families, another show here on our Talk Network, and she's excellent. The information that she gives out is just incredible. It's all about, crisis. We all have crises and problems in our family unit, don't we?
We sure do.
I mean, there is no perfect. There's no.
I'm going through one right now. That's why it's
See?
good to stay close to the material.
But the question of the show today is why?
Oh, just why?
Why?
And fill in the blank, huh?
Yeah. And we've gone through a number of whys, why people shooting each other, killing each other, why people want to vote for this person or the other person. But, when
Why?
I throw that word out there, it really makes a lot of people go, wow.
It's true. I like that. As an
Why?
exercise.
Yeah.
Why?
Exactly.
And then I could see
You can
people
go on
just,
and on and on.
Yeah, just writing what comes to mind or saying what comes to mind,
Yeah.
Now, you know me, where I would go.
I know.
I got
Come
a
on
lot
with
of whys, but I would start with, why not God?
it. Hey, see?
I can't help
I
myself.
knew she'd
Sorry.
come with a curveball. There you go.
Yeah. Why not God? What else could what other whys are there? Why do I have all of this weight on me after getting married? There's another why.
Cause you're in love and the food is good.
I don't want to hear it.
You do you do most of the cooking?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not a cook.
But-
I'm not really a
But
cooker.
you must be cooking good because you're eating.
You know
it,
what?
Right?
It's eating out
Oh.
because I don't cook. I do.
Ah.
I know how, but I don't really like to say that because I don't want to be cooking.
Oh, so
Right?
your choice
I'm
is
not a
to.
great cook. I don't know. What am I? I don't know.
See?
You don't throw my food away. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I would cook.
But you prefer and you find yourself eating out more often than not?
Yeah, because I don't prefer to cook.
Or is it your timetable?
I don't enjoy it. I would cook because I have to, because I need to eat, right? But I was never a dinner person. I'm breakfast and lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband is not breakfast and lunch. He's dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So he still gets his one meal, but
Right.
I'm eating all three because I need right?
Well, you should eat all three. I mean, that's what they tell us at least. But it depends on what
You should eat
eat.
all six.
Well,
Lee.
that's true. Yes. The snacks
I'm
in
good
between.
with all
right?
six. Yeah. And why are we voting for? Why this election? There's another why.
Well, that's a good one.
Why these choices in this election? There's
Yeah,
another
why are we limited to?
Yeah, I would like that third party. I don't care if it's the Green Party or what's the other party? We got the Green Party and the Libertarian.
Libertarian Party.
Gary
Yeah.
Johnson.
Yeah.
He would have been all right had he known about Aleppo.
Well,
I
see,
didn't
that's
know
the
about
problem.
Aleppo.
But that's the problem with most, and even including Donald Trump, he is really ignorant to a lot of things. He can filibuster and ad lib, but never really answer the real question.
Yeah.
And he'll twist the topic in a way that favors him. So he's an ace at that. He
he's
has the
smart.
gift of gab for that. But he's a dangerous man because he's really not that intelligent and informed about global situations
Yeah.
and even domestic.
Yeah,
He's a shyster.
he just talks a lot of adjectives.
Yes.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Trust me.
Wonderful.
I'm telling you now.
And outside of building some hotels, I just don't know.
And I've stayed at a couple of his places and I've looked at some of his condos and I was not impressed. I didn't buy. I didn't
Well,
stay.
I was excited. We go to Las Vegas once in a while to eat and rest and look at the hotels. We don't gamble, but I told my husband, I said, I got to go to the Trump Hotel. I want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I was so disappointed, you guys.
Yeah,
I mean, no wonder's on the other end of the block.
exactly.
I was disappointed. Now, I haven't been to Trump Plaza in New York. I think
I've been there.
I'll go. Is it worth seeing? I'm going to go there in
it's-
November. Should I
If you
go
like
in there?
gaudiness,
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. A lot
Not
of
my taste.
ornate type
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Plaster
overdone.
and gold and
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I think I'm sounding a little critical right now, and I'm trying not to
It's
sound
okay.
critical, but it's hard to tell the truth sometimes
Speak
and
from the
not,
heart.
you
Come
know.
on, Reverend.
Yeah, right. Speaking of, did you see this morning at Don King introducing him at were they at a
Carol was
church?
just telling us
Carol?
about it.
It was terrible. And then, Trump supporters are saying, well, you guys complain that he's not reaching out to the African American community. And then when he reaches out to the African American community, you still complain. Well, he just can't win. You can't have it both ways. Well, listen, it's how you reach out.
And who you're reaching
And
out
you're
to.
using the
And
N-word in
Yeah.
the pulpit, and you
Donald-
got 3 white guys behind you cracking up at the jokes.
Don King is not a part of my community.
He's not a
He's
part of a
always
lot-
been a radical black Republican. And
Right.
so you're not speaking to me and my
And he's a
friends.
thief. He's a huge thief.
Yeah.
And a liar and a swindler and a betrayer.
Yep.
I mean, how many people has he taken money from
Advantage of. Yeah.
and, backed out of contracts
That's
or
right.
strong held armed them?
Taking money from his foundation, his 501c3, and paying off legal debts and covering the
No,
cost of-
I meant Don King,
Oh,
not
yeah.
Donald Trump.
But two birds of a feather.
yeah. Well,
That's why they're buddies.
but we're not infallible,
True.
right? I mean,
We all have made mistakes.
we all have made mistakes, but I
But
guess
when you keep making the same mistake
yeah, when
over
your
and
life
over,
is living the mistake, that's
Exactly.
when I think even the scripture backs that up.
That's right.
I mean, we all sin,
Yes.
but you're supposed to repent and get back in line. But if your life is about betraying people all
Mm-hmm.
the time, but lying all the time, stealing, come on now, then that's really who you are.
Exactly.
That's your core.
That is it. You're
I
the
don't know.
snake.
How did we get on? Carol is taking a donut break, and so now I'm here at the mic. But I love your show. I love you and Carol. You guys are.
We're a trip.
You guys are a trip without a ticket. I mean, I think it's a good work, but
Yeah.
I
we
am-
have fun.
yeah. Well, let me sneak in one more why. I'm
Go
trying to
ahead.
think of one more why because I like that. I'm going to do that
Yeah.
next.
It's powerful.
Yeah. Let's see. One more why. Come on now, Tamara. You can get a gut one.
I'll give you one while you're thinking.
Okay.
Why do people beat frogs with baseball bats?
They do? No. Oh, you're probably watching something on YouTube and you see this going on. Why do people beat frogs?
Now, one of my radio buddies used to say that all the time to me. I went, where'd you get that from? I've never seen anybody beat frogs with baseball bats. He goes, well, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Why do people come up with kooky stuff to say?
To make
No.
you laugh.
Why do people choose hate over love? Why do people prefer fear over love?
Because they've been living in that world of hate and they don't know any better. They're stuck.
Why do people not want to know better? Kiana and I were talking about that on my show. We have access to information. Why do we choose to not get the information ourselves?
They're brainwashed. They're lazy. They don't want to know the truth. They've been told something and they have digested the entire pile of bovine, and that's where they live. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate. And I love talking to people who have a difference of opinion, and I'll be nice and say it that way, but things that just don't make sense. And I try to dig in and figure out why.
Right. Like the 4-year-old child.
Yeah,
Why?
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 Well, see, that's where I got that from because my kids used to why me to death.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've run out of answers, man. I don't know.
That was their weapon of choice.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Well, Kennedy, right? I love it. Don't ask. Oh no, that wasn't why. That was what.
What? Yeah.
You should do what the next.
What? Yeah,
Give us a
I'll
what.
follow up with a what.
All
Yeah.
right.
What
Yeah.
the heck were you thinking?
You're right. Did you ever see that show with Don Cheadle called "Talk to Me"?
Oh yeah, yeah. The radio show.
Right,
Yeah,
and Martin Sheen was the owner of the station,
Yeah.
and then he overheard the character doing some crazy stuff,
Right.
which was Don Cheadle. He goes, What in blue blazes is going on in there? My husband and I say that all the time.
Now, that is a true story.
I know.
And
yeah.
the old white guy that owned the station, I worked for.
Is that right?
Yeah, Egmont Sonderling owned that station, WOL, in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
He also owned the station that I worked at in Chicago, WBMX, and several other stations, WWRL in New York. He was a German Jew, came over here during the time when, it was
Hitler
not
was up.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And he went on the radio here talking in his native tongue to people from German and that were Jewish, and that's how he started his broadcast career. Ended up buying radio stations, and all but one, excuse me, one station, if I remember correctly, all the stations, I think he had 12 at one time, were all programmed to the black community.
Interesting.
All but one. He had one country station in Houston, Texas.
So he had a compassion for the black community.
Absolutely. He understood the struggle and the whole thing. And this guy was committed to the community. He would say to me, Lee, you stay in tune with the community. Okay? You program this radio station to serve the black community. I don't care about nothing else. You do that, you're going to win. He says, when I came here from Germany, that's what I did. I appealed to my own people. And that's what made me who I am today.
Give me his name again.
Egmont Sonderling.
Egmont was his first name.
Yes. And his wife's name was Frozine. So they were characters.
That doesn't sound Hebrewish.
Well, he was.
Egmont, what's his
Egmont
last name?
Sonderling.
Sounderling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will Google him.
Yes, he was a character. We used to go down to his home in Miami Beach on an annual basis for our annual budget approval meeting. And I remember one of the last times that we met, I went down and I said, Egmont, I need $1 million budget for the forthcoming year. He goes, $1 million? What do you mean? I said, yeah, the competition's getting tight. My competitor is spending at least $1 million. And he said, well, they're a big corporation, and I don't know. What are you going to do with $1 million? I said, well, I want to do at least $500,000 in television advertising over the year. And I want to do billboards and buses and give away some cash and, and I want to spend $300,000 in research. He goes, what kind of research? I said, focus groups, perceptual studies, do the music research to find out what we're playing people like or dislike and really tighten up the library. He goes, okay, I'll tell you what. I'll give you the 300. I'll give you another 300 for other things. You do that. If the research comes back and you increase the ratings by 2 shares, I'll give you the rest of the money.
Smart.
I said, deal. And I did it.
Good for you.
The research was the most important part of everything that I needed because I needed more intelligence about what people liked or disliked about the radio station. We beat our competition by 2 or 3 points. We became the #1 music station in the city. The only station ahead of us was WGN, the talk station in Chicago. So we made history. Then 15 months or almost 2 years later, I went across the street and beat the station that I had beaten down, my direct competition, and took them to #1.
So you were like a double radio spy.
Well, back in those days, you were kind of like a free agent. After your contract was up, you could go. Unlike today, now those same 2 stations that I made #1 are owned by the same company now, iHeartMedia. So you don't have anywhere to go. It's all under the same umbrella, same ownership. They're all in the same building.
Wow.
There's 6 or 7 stations they own there in Chicago, just like here in L.A. and New York. They own the majority of the best stations in America. So the thing that I miss most about Egmont and station owners like him is that independence. You didn't have the same corporate structure and limitations, and the commitment was there to the community.
Right.
That does not exist anymore.
No, the commitment is to the shareholders or
Yeah, we did
owners.
free public service announcements. Today, you have to buy those. It's not free
Are they
anymore.
now charging for
Oh,
PSAs?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, they're selling everything that ain't nailed down,
Yeah.
and then some.
Wow.
Yep. So, well, Reverend, Tamara,
Yeah.
thank you for coming in.
Thank you. And now we'll turn it back over to your wonderful
Yeah,
psych.
we'll go back to being sinners here. And
Oh, no. No, don't say that. Thanks for having me.
thank you. Anytime.
all right.
Anytime. Thank you. Oh, okay. You want to bring in the intern? Our ace intern? You want to? She's so shy. She's so shy. Come on in here, girl. Come on, get some of this microphone. Can I put the camera on you as well? And don't be like Carol. Carol, she wants to go, unseen.
Oh, okay.
Bring the microphone over to you. Either one. No, sit in that one. That way I can get a better camera angle on you. Oh, okay. That's a lowrider chair. Okay, no problem. I'll just have to spin the camera around. All right. Every Wednesday, we have the luxury of having this young lady to come in and be a part of our organization and help us out around here. Let me get your camera on you. Okay, that's better. And tell the people your name and what you do with us, and let's make you a star right now.
My name is Kiana Williams, and I have been interning at the Power of Voices for a few months now. Sometimes I help with the editing, and sometimes I help with just whatever needs to be.
You just recorded Tamara's show?
Yes, I just
Yep.
recorded Tamara's show
All
from
right.
Crisis to Healing, Families from Crisis to Healing.
So you're doing a lot of technical stuff around here,
Yes.
and I think today, if you have some time, we're probably going to do some social media stuff as well. You ready for that?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. See how nice she is? She's just like easy to work with and easy going. So what do you want to be when you grow up?
That's a difficult one.
What do you have a
I
passion
just-
to do? What do you really love? Did I hit you with a hard one?
I don't know. It's kind of like changing since I've been out here in LA.
Yeah.
I guess being out in the Midwest, there wasn't much opportunity. So,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I want. I don't know. I have a lot of ideas, but I'm still working through them.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So is broadcasting in that
Yes.
line of thinking?
Yes.
Anything
I love-
outside of broadcasting you're interested in?
I mean, it's all related. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I've done some graphic stuff, graphic design stuff, and I really like recording.
Okay.
So
All right. So
it's all related. I
yeah,
think.
it is. It is closely related, graphics and recording, because
Just
graphics helps
artsy
you with
stuff.
the visuals and,
Yeah.
and all of that, and helping you with your creative juices to do whatever it is you want to do. Well, that's good. Well, hopefully we can expose you to as much as we have available here. And one of the things that I've always done with young people, interns, and entry level people, part time, full time, is to expose you to as much as we have available, and don't limit you to, well, you can only do that. I think that's so wrong, because especially I remember myself when I was starting out in the business 105 years ago. I wasn't 100% certain of what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to be in the broadcast business. I was excited about the people on the radio and how they were doing what they were doing. And that question kept coming back, why and how? And then the technical aspect was intriguing to me, very interested in that. So I got the kind of license that I needed and beyond. And I had a good electronic background from working in a television repair shop and breaking stuff and fixing it. So all of those little things have helped me. But if I was not exposed to any of that, I don't think I would be as well-rounded as I am today. So I believe in giving young people as much exposure to everything as possible, without putting you in harm's way, of course. So keep that in mind, and don't be afraid to ask questions of me and others around here, and just get into it. And I was talking to one of the guys that I mentored, I guess, 40 years ago. And I met him in St. Louis in 1973. Goes by the radio name of JoJo. He's in Jacksonville, Florida now. And he's worked all over the country, including here in L.A., Texas, and St. Louis, and other places. He reminded me how much love and passion we had for the business. And the reason he would come by the radio station and press his nose against the window and watch me do my show. And he called me the other day and started playing some old jingles from the radio stations that he and I had admired, and some of them we worked at. And I said, yeah, man, those were the good days. And those are the kind of things that really got us engaged and excited and had the passion. And we would listen to radio. So he and I used to sit in my car. Now, he was 15, 16 years old. I would take him home every day after my show. He would come down after school. I think maybe he caught the bus or somebody dropped him off. And I would take him home and deliver him back to his mom at the end of my show almost every day. But on the way there, or we would sit in his driveway and listen to radio stations in other parts of the country and analyze and break down what that disc jockey just said or did. And that's what we used to do. That's how we became better and good at what we were doing. And today, he's still one of the best radio personalities I've ever heard on the radio because he gets it and he has a passion for it. So whether you're a disc jockey on the air or you're a receptionist at the front desk, you're a broadcast engineer, or whatever your job is, I say obsess with it. Know every little intricate part of that job and more. Become the best at it. And when you do that, you will find that you're going to excel beyond your wildest dreams. I never thought that I would end up working in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Houston, Baltimore, Washington, Atlanta, and all the other places that I've worked in. When I started out in Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia, I just wanted to do radio and do a good job at it. And from Norfolk, I went to St. Louis, from St. Louis to Atlanta, to New York, San Francisco, L.A. Not by design, just as people were telling me, hey, man, you're good, and we want you on our team. And it was a little bit easier, I would say, during those days because you had so many different companies that were not connected to each other. There was separate ownership. Today, it's a little more difficult, especially if you fall out of good graces with one of the major companies that own 1,000 stations. You get on their blacklist. You can't be hired by them anymore. So that makes it difficult for the personalities. But I'm telling you these stories just to encourage you to really dig down deep. Find your passion. Follow that passion. Follow that dream. And don't be afraid to make a mistake because you're going to make some. You're going to bump your toe. You're going to stump your knee and all that. But just keep moving forward. Get up and keep on rolling. And if you get in trouble, call me and I'll help you out.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay? All right. Thanks for being a part of the show. Give us a why. What when you see things that don't make sense, you go, why?
I think the thing that I question mostly is kind of like what Tamara's why is. Why do people choose fear or hate over love?
Over love.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably because it's easier.
Yeah.
It's because they probably have never been loved. They don't know what love is. They don't have that connection with love. So they've been hated. They've been put down. They've been told that, you ain't going to never be nothing. You ain't crap. And, you're ugly and you got whatever. So
right.
they that's all they know. And that's unfortunate. It's really sad.
Yeah.
And we have to figure out how to uplift them.
And another one is kind of like why people have they get their minds made up about people before they get to know them.
Get to know
them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is a
mean,
problem. You're right. That's a good why. Why do you hate me when you don't know me?
Yeah.
Why do you
Why do
not
you
give
put
me
me
an
in a
opportunity?
box?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Why won't you give me an opportunity to do something with you as opposed to saying no? Give me a shot. Make
Right.
sense?
Yes.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Thanks
Now
for
that you've
having
got
me.
now that you've gotten over your fear, right? She's about to run out of here. Well, I remember the first time I went on the radio too. Is this your first time on the radio?
You put me on before.
That's right. Sure did. Sure did. So, was it a little easier this time, maybe?
Not really. I still didn't feel like I have anything to really say.
Say,
Yeah.
well, but you'll get over that. I'll embarrass you again, I'm sure. All right, we'll see you later.
All right.
All right, Carol, get back in the saddle. Don't think you can sit over there and eat up all the damn brownies. You always talk about, I think I'm gaining weight. I have to go walk 3 more miles and walk off that that donut I just had.
I have never said that.
Yes, you have.
Never. I try to gain weight.
I think I want it. Can I have another donut? I shouldn't eat this donut
I'm one
because
of
they're
these
not good for
people,
you.
I have trouble gaining weight.
You do?
Yeah, you've never heard me say that.
No, I'm just messing with you.
I know you are. Does he have me on camera?
No, I don't. You're off. Nope. No, I turned it off.
Could she have a brownie?
Sure she can. Yeah, anything that I have is community.
Anything?
Yeah. You want
Give me your wallet.
You don't want that. That's
Your
another
credit
nip of
card.
bills.
Let me have your credit card.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
It's maxed out. I make sure of that. Oh, love it. So
Yeah, I should have never ate that brownie. I got sleepy over there.
yeah, the sugar will do that to you.
It did. I started to fall asleep. I go, good. I hope she stays on the whole time.
See, that's terrible.
No, I got sleepy.
Yeah, you got.
It was that jelly.
Did you? You didn't eat the whole thing, did you?
I sure did.
You
Maybe a
did?
few
So,
crumbs dropped.
It wasn't that bad then, huh?
It wasn't, but I'm sure I could have had a better pick over there.
Well,
I can't
still-
have another one.
No? Okay. Well, maybe tomorrow. I won't eat them all. Again, what we're talking about is some brownies that were sent to me today. I guess this is a thank you from Laura Rice, who is one of our talk show hosts here on the Power of Voices. In fact, her show comes up in about 42 minutes or so, right here on the Power of, well, no, 47 minutes on the Power of Voices, called Full Body Frequency. I guess she sent me these brownies so I can talk about it more. Okay, the bribe worked.
Why is Farrakhan talking about Obama?
I don't know. I didn't hear that. What is he
he
saying?
said you didn't earn your I can't say a lot of words. Legacy. Is that how you-
Legacy?
legacy. With black people, you fought for the rights of gay people. You fight for Israel. Your people are suffering and dying in the streets. Now, this cracks you up because years ago when I moved out here, Muslims were very racist back then. Nothing like what I met in the Middle East. And
Yeah.
I remember because I'm very pale. I think I am.
Yeah,
I
for-
couldn't go in their
For
restaurants.
Indian, you are a little
Yeah.
on the pale side.
Well, see, that's because people typecast people.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't go in there. I wasn't allowed in their restaurants.
Yeah.
So I listened to him, and I think he's the type that would follow Trump. Because it just cracks me up. Because
I don't think he is. I
it's
just
like-
think that he's trying to make a point.
but it's not true.
Yeah.
I could sit and
that's
give
just-
an argument to that. When Ferguson happened, Obama went right in on that. At
Mm-hmm.
that same time in Atlanta, there was a young white girl, Caucasian girl, strolling her little baby.
Mm-hmm. I remember
And
that.
two young black men went up to her and wanted her money.
Yep.
She had no money.
Mm-hmm.
They said, give us your money or we'll shoot. They shot that baby point blank in the head. Nothing was hardly ever said about it. Obama never said nothing. So I don't know where he gets that. I've seen Obama be very helpful to all races,
Yeah, he
especially
has.
to Native Americans.
But you know what? I think some black people think that
What they really are is they used to use the word Uncle Tom.
well, yeah, but yeah, that's where they want to try to go with that. But the reality is, some black people think that he hasn't done enough for the black cause.
Oh, I think he's did a lot. I've heard people argue the opposite, that white people feel he hasn't done enough for them.
Yeah,
As far as
Well, everybody's gonna
Farrakhan, I
complain
think
about
he's
something.
a very evil, racist man.
yeah, he's not as bad as he used to be. It used to be real pointed.
Poor
you know,
Arsenio Hall
hate
lost
the
his
white man.
TV show over him.
Yeah,
He should have
You-
never brought him on.
you think that was the reason?
Yes, it was the reason. You're working for them. They're not working for you. And
Well, that's true.
he started bringing on people that they really didn't want on with filled with hate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he lost his job.
But well, and I understand that because corporate America has its agenda. But unfortunately, if you don't expose everything, then you are not doing a good job as
Well,
a broadcaster.
I think
You know?
Farrakhan is a very hateful man. I mean, in his mind, Muslims are only black at one time. That's how he thought.
Well, yeah,
because
there was a
Malcolm X, if I'm correct, was killed because he went over to the Middle East and he looked around and he said, wait a minute. They're not all black. Muslims are all colors.
yeah.
This is a religion. Came back here and went to preach on that. And next thing you know, he's dead.
Yeah, it was a power struggle
So,
going
so
on
kind
at the
of
same time.
at that time, I just think about it because I couldn't go in their restaurants. They called, and I'm not white, called me a white devil, a white devil. So,
Yeah.
you know, I sometimes just can't understand people. Muslims are of all color. You
They
can
are.
see Asian Muslims.
That's true.
It's a religion.
Yep.
But I mean, I was surprised when I went over there. The rich Muslims over there are very pale, way paler than me.
Mm-hmm.
Because actually, I could pass for an Arab when I was there, and people go, "Oh, you couldn't." I said, "Go over there. They have light eyes. I look Arab when I'm over there. I can fit right in."
Yeah. Did you wear the headgear and all that?
No, but I wore the dresses.
Did you?
I brought a lot back. I bought them back and gave them to friends, and they loved them. I bought sandals that were gorgeous, beautiful blouses, material. Because a lot of the material comes from India. Some of the most beautiful material you ever see in your life.
A lot of silk and what's the
Silk
other?
and just beautiful material. Very reasonable. Jewelry, very reasonable. I mean, diamonds and sapphires and rubies, they're just like if you went to the beach,
Yeah.
sand. But they limit the amount. Because I bought ruby bracelets for people, sapphires. I still have a few left. I gave them away to people. And just the gold. We don't even know what gold looks like till you see their gold.
Yeah.
It's like 24 karat gold. There's nothing filling it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You walk into Gold City, as they call it, and it just sparkles.
Hmm.
I myself like the black market, though. I got great stuff there.
Good prices, huh?
So I just, when it comes to Farrakhan, that's my word. Why?
Yeah.
Why, if he's such a religious person, are you so racist?
I think it's toned down, though, over the past 10, 15 years. You
Well-
don't hear as much,
I don't know,
black,
'cause
white coming out of his mouth.
My friends were laughing one day because I stopped on Crenshaw. I wanted to buy a bean pie. And
Like
the
those
guy
pies,
wouldn't come
huh?
to my car.
Yeah. They'll
He wouldn't
you
sell
pie.
me a bean. No, he
No, he
wouldn't.
wouldn't?
That's when some stuff was going on. I can't remember
long
what
ago was that?
happened. Last year,
Really?
there was something going on where they had a little bit of a protest.
Really?
Because I was in that M&M restaurant that was over there that's closed now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember who else, but they said, I think we better go now. Because you could see it on the news. Because they even stopped a freeway, but he wouldn't sell me a bean pie.
Really?
No, and I had bought bean pies before. So
Sure.
I think it was because of something that was happening. Might have been right after the Ferguson thing. And see, a lot of people took advantage of that. Because remember I told you there was a little kid that lived with me. And one night he was out. He comes back. I'm up at 5 a.m. He walks in and I could see he was stoned and drunk. Goes upstairs. He's got that weird smile. All of a sudden there's thump, thump, thump at my door. And I go, Drew, don't answer the door. I shouldn't have said the name. Don't answer the door. I go to the door and I say, who is it? They go, police. Let me see your badge.
Right?
I opened that door. Do you know how many police were there?
How many?
8.
8.
Do you know what he did?
What?
He was out driving, drunk and whatever else, and hits the guy's off-duty cop's car, a hit
Oops.
and run. The
That'll do
guy
it.
jumped in the car and followed him here. We have a security gate. They wouldn't let him through because the security guard told me that guy was going to kick his butt.
Wow.
So they wanted to give him time to get in. So they got other cops there, and
Mm-hmm.
so they go, "Does Andrew Davis live here?" I wasn't going to lie. I say yes. Could you please tell him to come here? So I tell him, and he comes down the stairs. Yes, and told him he'd been sleeping. I said, "No, you weren't. No, you weren't, because I'm
Trying
not
to do
going to
the
have
cover
no
up.
problems."
Right?
Do you know what he started doing? And they were so nice. You know how usually they'll rip your arms up behind your back, sitting up on your shoulder blade.
Yeah.
They were so nice, and he's screaming, "Ferguson, Ferguson, tape this, record this, Carol." I said, "Shut the up, shut up now."
Wow.
Because
they were trying
I
to make
said-
a scene.
He was. I
Yeah.
go because he had seen the Ferguson
Yeah.
stuff. So
yeah.
I noticed at that time other people told me same stories where everybody of color was trying to use that as an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
But he had did this before, so I even did another thing to help things out. Because what if that had been a person he hit?
Yeah.
Who's to say he hadn't hit somebody before? Because he hit somebody on the freeway and kept going.
Mm.
I gave him the keys to his car because they knew where it was.
Sure.
They took it. But I was doing him a favor because next
Yeah,
time he
exactly.
might kill somebody. So
That's
it's
right.
like, why?
You don't know.
Why do you have to drive when you're drunk or stoned? That's what they have Ubers for, even though sometimes the Uber driver's drunk too.
No.
Oh, yeah. They've said there are some that tell you to drive and they get in the back seat.
No. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. I've seen it on the news. But
Wow.
the thing is why? You've already had problems. The day you hit somebody on the freeway, who's to say you didn't hurt that person?
Yeah. Yeah. And property damage.
So he goes to jail. This is the best yet. Now, anybody that's went to jail, you go on a weekend, honey, you're staying there all weekend.
Mhm.
You're not getting it. He got out. He got out on Sunday.
He had the bail money?
No, they let him out. I thought, well, what was he doing in there? Were you making people happy somehow? He claimed I sang to him. I go, oh, bull. Why did they let him out? That was weird to me.
He had to get bailed out. You know,
Nobody bailed him.
No. come
Nobody
on.
bailed him.
Well,
I
how's he gonna
swear
get
on that.
out? On his own?
I don't know. Maybe he was giving favors. Who knows? He got out.
You got to get to the judge. The judge makes that determination.
Not sometimes. I told you a long time ago, I went to jail in the middle of the night on a weekend because.
Wait a minute. Let me get another brownie. This is going to be a good story.
No, I did because my daughters called me up in the middle of the night.
Yeah?
You got to get here, Mom. The police are here. My daughter was trying to kill the other daughter.
Uh-oh.
So I get in the
The
car.
family feud.
Don't tell my boyfriend I've left. No shoes, no socks, no bra, nothing. I get in the car. I drive there. I get there. I knock on the door opens, and my daughter had jumped up, and he hit her in the stomach with the billy club.
The cop did?
One of the cops. Now, my daughter was underage.
Wow.
Well, I'm a mother or a father, I was both, with the automatic reflex.
Mhm.
I took my keys, and Lee will tell you, I have a lot of keys. If you
Yes,
see my
yeah.
keychain, I always have that. I hit him so hard upside his face. So guess what?
He
I
arrested
was
you.
wearing handcuffs.
Yeah.
So they put us in the cop car. They take us out to Van Nuys. The whole time my daughter's screaming and crying. I said, shut up. I'm like, shut up. I don't have nothing with me. No bra, no shoes.
Wow.
Now, Van Nuys jail is in the middle of like a park.
Okay.
So they take us into the jail, and I look at them and I go, don't put me in the cell with her. Do not put me in the cell with her. I was very angry at her, very
Oh,
angry.
yeah. Yeah.
So they put me in a cell, and they put her in hers. But they come and they let me go because they found out the police had hit her.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
then the best yet, I get put out where they put you out. You're in the middle of a park. Now I'm no shoes, no
Yeah,
bras,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
no hair comb. You can
Yeah.
imagine what
You
did I look like?
Like a wreck. Yeah.
Back then, they had a phone booth. I begged somebody. I had to become a homeless person. I needed some money so I could
To make a
dial
phone call,
my
yeah.
boyfriend and say, I just got out of jail.
Right.
He didn't even know I had left.
Wow.
He said, what do you mean? I said, I'm in Van Nuys. Will you please come and get me? Please come and
Wow.
get me.
What a nightmare.
It was.
So he was at the house asleep? No, but
He was still sleeping.
You left your house and went to your daughter's place.
Yes,
Okay,
because
okay.
when they called me, they were hysterical because one had tried to kill the other. So that's why the
Wow.
police were there. And
So the one that got arrested with you, was that the perpetrator?
she was the perpetrator.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
They didn't let her go, though.
Yeah.
She got to stay for the weekend.
Hmm.
So they will let you out on their own. They just don't book you.
Ah.
Now, he was booked.
Yeah, but see, that's
He did
what's
something. He
confusing.
did not get
A hit
bailed
and
out.
run is kind of
He
automatic.
got out on Sunday. He claimed he was singing to him. I go, nah, you were doing something else now. You weren't just singing.
yeah. That's interesting.
You know, but they really should have kept him, you know, because like I said, this wasn't the first time and probably the two
Had
times.
he been arrested before?
No, he hit and ran somebody on the freeway. He had been arrested before because he was on probation having to do community service because he broke a glass upside somebody's head
Wow.
when he was drunk.
Well, see, that makes it even more interesting as to how he got out, because if you're on
Yes.
probation and you break your probation,
You know, he got
usually
away.
you don't get away with that one.
He got away with a lot of stuff.
Wow.
He's a story. He could be a reality show. Just
Wow, that's interesting.
the things he would do, I'm telling you, he would tell me, oh, I can't fight because my hands are licensed. Do you know how many times he came home
Beat up.
Now, if your hands are licensed, don't tell me you're not going to use them in self-defense.
That's right.
Most people that really do martial arts and know it, they're not going to tell you.
That's
They're
right.
not going to tell you my hands are like. They're not going to tell you nothing.
Nope. The element of surprise is their
Yeah,
weapon.
because it's like this guy I
Yeah.
know that had a medical weed store.
Mhm.
3 guys came in to rob him. He beat the crap out of all 3 of those guys. It was all over the news.
Yeah.
But
the
he
element
was
of
one
surprise.
of these
They
people.
say they didn't know.
Yeah, nobody knows what he does or what he did or who he is. But he was one of these people that was probably well trained in fighting. Never let anybody know because they tell you it's not something you have to brag about.
Right.
Usually, a person that brags about it, they can probably kick a hole in the door, but usually they panic because I have a friend when his restaurant got robbed, he had trained and he said he got what they call buck fever. Remember, I was telling your one friend that hunts, he knows what that is, where
Buck fever?
you can't shoot somebody. Same thing with him. He forgot everything he was taught. Everything. He just went into a shock. So kind of shows you with this young man, if your hands were really licensed, you wouldn't have came home beat up numerous
Yeah,
times.
yeah. He's talking trash and got beat up. Well, that happens. I know guys that I grew up with. They used to talk that trash about the karate and judo and all that stuff that they claimed they were experts in, and they would get beat up all the time.
No, you just pull out your gun and say, well, I've got a gun.
Yeah.
A gun.
Caraza. Yeah. Yeah. I remember one guy. In fact, he was, taking karate classes and all that stuff, and everybody was scared of him. But there was one bully in the neighborhood that was not fearful of him. And the karate guy was talking trash one day to the bully guy. And he just punched him, knocked him out. It was one punch exchange. The bully knocked the karate guy out. So while he was talking trash and doing all this, all of that, and the guy was just standing there looking at him. And just a quick jab, and it was over. He went out. Boom.
So that used to happen to my son. I put him in a prep school.
Mm-hmm.
He got in on scholarship. And a lot of the rich kids, they don't believe that they can be bullies, but they are.
Oh, of course.
And they would bully the kids that were there. They knew who wasn't rich. And this one kid would just bully everybody.
Yeah.
So my son, when you went to the school, you had to take Latin starting in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
It was a requirement, which is great because when you go to do the SATs, makes you very good with the vocabulary.
Yeah.
So he would go, he went to a Latin convention and he's sitting with his friends, and these guys are passing around notes but signing his name saying filthy stuff.
Mm.
And somebody gave him the note, and my son walked up to him and crumbled it. He said, I'm going to ask you now. I've put up with you since I've come to this school. I'm going to ask you to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do this anymore. And he crumbled the note, put it on his. He was walking back, and I guess they thought they were going to do like a Carrie scene, throw a punch on him or something.
Mm-hmm.
His friends go, they're coming up behind you. And he sat down. They said, they're coming. My son stood up, turned around, and he said to the guy, now I asked you to stop. My son knocked him out with one punch.
Mm-hmm.
They videotaped it, the other kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the
See?
school legally couldn't put you out, but actually the school was happy. When they seen it, I heard they were all in there laughing because this kid had picked on people continuously.
Yeah.
Continuously.
Yep.
Just because you're rich.
Yep.
It doesn't give you right to pick on some kid that's there because he worked to get there.
Mm-hmm.
He worked to get a scholarship.
I had to go to school a few times with my children, and one time in particular, there's one kid kept picking on my son, and I went to the school, talked to the principal, and the other kid and his parent was there as well. And I said to him, I said, look, I've done everything I know how to do as a parent to have my son not to get involved with any of these issues. But it's not anything else I can say or do. If this kid does not stop, I'm going to give my son the okay to whip his ass. Okay? Because
I
I've told
hear
my
ya.
son to avoid this kid at all costs. Don't get involved. Go talk to your teacher. Tell the principal. He's been doing that, and nothing is happening to stop this. And I looked directly at the principal. I said, so I want you guys to understand something. The gloves are off. And I said, come on, let's go. Okay? So I told him, I said, look, I'm not going to tell him don't defend yourself anymore. I'm not going to tell him to go to the teacher or the principal because this has got to stop. So if he comes at my son again, he's going to get a butt whipping. That's it. And it stopped. It stopped. Didn't happen anymore.
Yeah, because usually bullies, it's just what they say. They're bullies. I mean, the
Mhm.
bullies on the internet, if you found out who they
Yeah.
really were, they don't use their real names.
Mhm.
They make an account,
That's not a bully. That's a coward.
that is, and they
That's a
come
coward.
in and they say filthy and terrible
Yeah.
stuff. And know your family's looking at it, but being a family, you have to just ignore it and
Yep.
that. But it's
I've
just
had
another
cowards.
way of bullying people to
Sure.
me.
And they think it's fun and funny and they can, hee ha ha about it. But I will say to them, say, okay, you're saying these words to me on Facebook on an assumed name. Okay, you know who I am. Okay? Tell me who you are. Let's settle this right now. Don't be a coward. Come from under that cloth, that shield that you're using. And let's settle this like men.
You
They don't
can
want to do that.
actually delete their comments.
Yeah, of course I do.
People have
Yeah.
already seen them.
Yeah.
Do-
I usually don't engage with people like that online. Because I know they're ignorant and it's nothing you can
Well,
say
sometimes
or
it's hurtful when it's your own children.
do. It is. Well, when it comes down to that, I'm going to engage. But if they want to attack me, that's okay. I can handle that because I'm a big boy. Been around a long time. I've been called every name in the book. I've been shot at. I've been threatened. All of that. And I'm still here. So I know how to handle that. There are certain times you engage and there are certain times you don't. Because a coward, I'm not afraid of. Straight up bully that's going to stand in front of my face and talk trash, I'm going to be a little concerned about that because he's in arm's reach. And you got to defend yourself.
And bullying's really bad right now.
Yeah, it is.
Not changing the subject, but changing it. There's a Ohio police chief.
Mm-hmm.
He's very upset over this officer that did the shooting. He said, just when we're trying to make things better, and he's very angry.
Now, is this the shooting where?
The
There's
one
another
with
one
Terrence Crutcher, the one where the woman cop shot him for no reason.
Oh, yeah.
He said he is so angry over it. He said he's drained. Being an officer himself, he said, I'm drained with some cops doing things like this. You're making us all look bad, and it has to
I
stop.
totally agree. I've been saying that all along. And I
And
think
his tweet is being shared since he put it up at 6 a.m. It's been shared 9,500 times.
but see, here's the thing. The good cops have to separate themselves from the bad. You know who the bad cops are. You go to the same locker room. You're in the meetings with them. You're riding around with them in the patrol cars because most of the time they're now too deep. Used to be one in the car. Now it's too deep because things have gotten worse. So you know who they are. You know the guys, the cops that have an extra gun in their sock. That extra one strapped to their leg just in case. That's the gun they're going to plant on people. When they shoot somebody, say, well, he had a gun. So they plant the gun on them. You know those. You know these guys. You know the ones that participate in racial activities when they're off duty. You know them. You hang out with them for 8, 10, 12 hours a day. So I say you're as bad as they are if you continue to allow them to exist as police officers. It makes you look bad.
Well, you should
And
see
you're going to encounter a bad boy out there on the street, and you're going to take the blunt of the bad reaction from the public because you didn't turn in the bad cops.
Here, you could read what his tweet was. It's very compassionate. You see it?
Yes. But this is what it's going to take. He says, I'm an officer and so sick and drained of some cops doing things like this. And he's right. But listen, you took the oath to serve and protect your community. And when you got guys on your team that are breaking the rules, you have an obligation, a responsibility to eliminate those bad cops from the force.
No,
Turn them
but
in.
his tweet is amazing. When he tells you, he says, life is precious, man.
It is.
Sorry, we don't all agree. Compassion and empathy is externally important. Just sick of seeing death and hate. And this is a police officer. He's the chief. And he gives his name.
Well, it's,
He's
as a
a
chief,
26-year-old veteran, I believe.
as a chief of the police department, he needs to take control and
No, he wasn't
eradicate.
out there. He's from Ohio.
Right. I understand.
But he's tired now.
Right. But even he can't do anything about any other cops in any other jurisdictions or areas. But within his police department, he's got to make sure it's clean. Now, I'm glad he's speaking out. It's going to take more cops like that to speak out and eradicate the bad guys. Then the relationship between the police departments all over this country and the community will begin to heal, but not until then. If they're too scared, if they're so fearful that they're going to shoot and then ask questions, you shouldn't be a cop. You need to be better trained. You need to learn patience. You need to learn to serve and protect and maybe stand down, back away from a tenuous situation so that you don't have to react out of fear. Stand down. Call for additional support. Bring in a sergeant or captain or lieutenant into the situation before you start shooting people. And thank God for smartphones because it's exposed a lot of the stuff that's been going on for a long time, forever. But cops tend to stick together, and we know that. And it happens everywhere, north, south, east, and west. Black cops, white cops, Latino cops, Asian cops. Don't matter. They're all cops. And there's that blue code. And that's why so many people are upset. That's why they're scared. That's why they have hate because of actions. Now, granted, there are some bad acting community people within our community of all religious backgrounds, of all ethnic backgrounds. It doesn't matter. There's bad people in every sector. Ignorance, hate, fear. We need to stop it, man. Why does it exist? That's the theme of the show. That's a big question. Why? Why can't we figure out solutions to the problems that we have? They're not that difficult. They really are. The solutions are in front of us. Affordable health care. A solution was presented. It got watered down, modified, fried and dyed and laid to the side because our politicians are for sale. And the lobbyists came in from the insurance company, the pharmaceutical companies, the hospitals and all of that and said, hey, look, okay, we'll go along with this program, but you're going to have to give us a leeway to increase our rates by 1% a month. And then after the first 2 years, give us the ability to adjust the payments. So right now, if you have Obamacare, the rates go up 1% a month. That's 12% a year. So over a 2-year period of time, your rates go up by 24%. That becomes significant. But see, the guys that you voted for in the House and the Senate allowed this to happen. President Barack Obama was not cool with that. But he's the only president in your lifetime or ever that at least made an attempt to bring about affordable health care. Hello, welcome to the Lee Michaels Show.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody.
Hello there. Welcome.
Spy Boy.
Hey, Spy Boy, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well, doing well. How's everybody over there?
Everybody's good. We're live and kicking. Glad to hear your voice.
How's everybody out in this great country of ours?
Sick. Sick and tired of stuff that's going on and wish that it would stop. But you know how it is. Some people just are comfortable where they are with all the hate and discontent, and that's where they want to live.
Yeah, I heard your little speech on hate. Now, who's hating who?
Well, people in general. There are people who just, no matter what, they don't want to go along, get along, or change for a variety of reasons. It could be racial. It could be religious. It could be any number of things. Hair too long, hair too short. You got a tattoo and I don't. It could be any number of things, Spy Boy. And
So
that's
if I don't agree with Obamacare because I knew it was going to raise up the cost of doing business in medical, I hate.
well, that's a form of hating. But the reason it exists the way it is, and that's what nobody wants to really address, talk about, or acknowledge, that was not the original plan for affordable health care. Once it was presented to Congress, it got watered down, modified, sliced and diced to the point where they were willing to pass it and just to appease the president. But at the same time, they knew it was going to come back and make him look bad because they gave the leadway to the insurance companies, they gave them the ability to raise the rates after the first 2 years. And now they have a clause in there that they can increase the rates by 1% per month, but that was not the original plan. But that was the only way it could get passed. And fortunately, there are 20 million people who are now insured that was probably not insured before. So there is an upside, but it is not that affordable. You cannot blame Barack Obama. What was he supposed to do? Veto it at that point? Said, no, I can't agree to this. Then he
I'll
would have
tell
been.
you what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to leave the thing alone and let the system work as
Well, the
it
system,
was.
the system wasn't working, man.
It was working.
No, it wasn't. There were 20 million
80.
people that did not have insurance. Now they do.
20 million out of 330 million. I'll take those odds.
No, that sucks, man. Come on. So you don't have any compassion for those people who are now insured. They may be able to live through life-threatening disease and needed operations.
I
They now.
I have compassion for the people who have to pay the bill.
What
But
bill?
they're-
What bill are they? What bill are you paying?
But these people are not getting it for free. They're paying. And they're paying more than what the original health care plan
Only
was
people
about.
that's hurting is the insurance people and the doctors.
They're not hurting. No,
They're not.
they're not. They're making more money than ever before because they got 20 million more people on the roll of paying insurance fees that they didn't have before. So they're not losing money. That's
Who
not
said that
true.
those people are actually paying? They never come out and actually say
Sure,
that.
they're
That's
paying.
Well,
No, they're not.
but yeah,
They-
Yes,
Spy
they
Boy.
are.
They don't-
My
they
son
don't
gets
report it.
Obamacare because when he came out of college, he pays. He pays every
It's not
year, every
free.
month. It's not free.
You mean a member of the
And then
1%?
people lose their jobs and lose their insurance. What are they supposed to do?
It's not free, Spy Boy.
Nothing's free in this world.
The
Well, that's what
Obamacare
we
is
were
not
trying-
free.
That's what we were trying to say before they passed this cluster called Obamacare.
It's not free.
It is
You
not
do-
free.
No, it is not. It depends on your
It's
age.
not. I don't-
Depends on the
which is
state.
Why it makes you wonder why he gets credit for it. He's not paying for it. It's the middle class is paying for it.
No, the people who are being insured are paying for it. It's
Right. So then why does he get credit for it?
because he made it available. That it didn't exist before.
He taxed the middle class. The middle class now has to pay.
Well, you know what? That dog won't hunt, Spy Boy, and you know it. You bring on an argument,
course
but it's not.
Of course,
It's
doesn't
not
work
worthy
because
talking
people
about.
Don't want to believe this. People don't want to believe the truth.
Who's
That's
suffering?
The same thing.
Let me. Okay.
Who's suffering? The people who rates went up. The people who can't afford to pay the deductible.
Let me correct that for you. When he made Obamacare, they changed that part. It was going to be affordable for everybody. He didn't change that.
Your
So you're a
Congress
little
did.
confused there. The
affordable
Congress
only-
changed it.
it's
Wait a minute. You're a little
affordable only in
confused.
name.
Congress changed it. Everybody was
There's no-
supposed to be
there's no-
affordable,
there's no-
and that's what they're
there's no
trying to do is make it where it is affordable for everybody. But you're wrong when you think that.
The convolution is when you come
I
up with
have
that
friends, it's
cocky
very
forward
affordable
excuse.
for them. Not everybody makes a lot of money.
Yeah, it's affordable for them because somebody else has to pay the bill.
Oh, who's paying
No.
their bill? Are you paying their bill?
The people who are in the middle class would pay it full
Oh,
price.
that is
No,
not.
that's
Do
a
do
lie.
we even have a
The
middle
people-
class any longer? I thought we're just
people
poor
who-
and rich now.
An obfuscation, of course.
We do not have a middle class, basically.
Okay, Spy Boy, tell me how Obamacare has affected you personally.
Well, number one, when you go to the doctor's office, the visit goes something like it's easy for about 2 to 5 minutes, and he's gone.
That's everywhere.
Yeah, that was before Obamacare.
That's
When,
everywhere.
when I was working for corporate America, and even after that, I had Blue Cross Blue Shield. I could go to any doctor, any hospital, and be serviced. Right? I still didn't get any appointments any faster, and when I went to see my regular medical doctor on a regular basis, he didn't spend any more or any less time, and I had the top of the line insurance. Okay, it was not a PPO. It was a regular insurance policy that covered everything. And I had a low deductible. And I paid dearly for that insurance. So when I would go see my doctor, he would come in, ask me a few questions, look at the charts and fill out a couple things, take my blood pressure, listen to my heart, stick his finger up my ass to check my prostate, and say, you're looking good. And then try
Sound
to
like
put...
you enjoyed that prostate exam.
No, I hated that, and I didn't enjoy. And then he would try to push a little cholesterol medicine on me, and I did it for about 4 or 5 months, and I didn't like the side effects from it, and I haven't taken it since.
What were the side effects?
Um,
Couldn't fart.
it would tend to make you a little impotent. It would cause problems with you having sex,
Oh.
and then I just didn't feel. It was just a weird down feeling from it. So I decided that I wasn't going to take it anymore, and I changed my
Felt like
diet.
you had a finger up your butt.
No, I changed my diet, and I began to exercise. My cholesterol came down, and I haven't been on it in 15 years.
The point is that nobody's rates went down $2,500. The rates went up. Almost as many people are without insurance today as it was before. And
My
lost
son's
freedom.
That's not
rates
true.
went down. I mean, they'll go up this year because now he's making money.
That's not true, Survivor Boy. There are 20 million people on the roll with insurance today that didn't have it before.
And how many without insurance today?
Well,
They don't have it, then there's a reason
that's-
why. They're
that's by
not
choice.
applying for a Obamacare.
that's by
And
choice.
legally, when they go to apply for their do their taxes, they're going to get fined for not doing it.
Exactly.
And that part of it, I don't particularly care for. You know, that you get fined because you don't have insurance. I'm not too crazy about that part of it, that aspect, and I think that's something that can be eliminated.
That's
And-
one of the worst aspects of it.
Well, but here's the thing. Sometimes you have to force some people to do the right thing, and I think that's what that measure was for. However, here's the deal. Here's the bottom line. If it was really, truly affordable health care, then nobody would have any bitching and belly aching and complaints. There'll be more people that could afford health care. There'll be more people not coming up with illnesses or would be able to see a doctor. But the problem is, depending on your situation, okay, my daughter in Houston has 2 children. She's a single parent. She works every day. She takes care of her girls. She's an excellent mom. Works hard. When she applied for Obamacare, it was more expensive than she could afford to do. I'm 66 years old. At the time when I looked at it, I was living in Nevada. And it was going to cost me under $100 a month with a fairly low deductible. So it depends on your situation. And it depends on the state that you're in. And I told my daughter, I said, maybe you need to move to Nevada because they got a better program here. And I looked at what it would cost for her, and it was a lot less than what it is in Texas. So the states have a lot to do with it as well. Now, is that based on the number of people, the population, and all of that? I don't know. But the fact of the matter is it depends on the state you're in because the state subsidizes it or whatever their deal is with the insurance companies. I'm not sure about all the details, but it depends on the state. So there's a lot of variables in this whole thing. But more importantly, overall, Congress made the boo-boo by giving in to the lobbyists from the insurance companies, the pharmaceuticals, and the hospitals. When they modified the bill, that was the beginning of the pain that's being inflicted upon the people who were looking for affordable health care. They got in at a low and affordable level, but then it began to increase over a period of time. And that's the wrong.
original sin was thinking that you could make something affordable. Soon as
Why
the
not?
government gets involved, because you can't make it affordable.
Why wasn't
to
it
everyone.
available before this? Why didn't the insurance companies have an affordable plan to the public? Because they didn't want to.
Because
they didn't
don't
have
allow
to.
for it. Because the states don't allow it.
Forget-
Each state has
forget
its
about-
own individual insurance.
Okay,
commission.
The only reason the
If
state.
you allow, if,
No,
if
hold
there was-
on.
if there
Hold
was
on.
allowed to have
Spy boy, you're wrong.
competition,
You're wrong.
no,
The only
competition
reason the
makes
state
price
or the
go down.
federal government would have to get involved in it is it because the insurance companies didn't have a plan that was affordable for more people. That is the only reason the government had to step in and do something about it. force the hand of the insurance companies.
If the government wasn't involved, the insurance companies would have
No.
affordable policies available.
They didn't
Yes,
have
they
it.
would,
They
because
didn't
they're-
have
they're
it.
in
It
that-
didn't exist.
Because the states wouldn't allow it.
It didn't. No. It didn't
Because the states
exist.
wouldn't allow it. The states have.
Why would
their
the
own
state care?
insurance companies.
Why would the state care? If the
Because
state had no,
because they make money.
no.
Because there's a
If the
tax
state
involved.
had no liability,
There's an
did not have to
insurance commission.
No, hold on. If the state did not have to subsidize the cost, if the state says, "My name is Bennett, I'm not in it," Mr. Insurance Company, put together an affordable health care plan for all people. If they had done that, if the insurance company said, "Okay, let's make this thing work," okay, doctors, y'all got to work with us, okay, give me a break on your fees. Pharmaceutical companies, give me a break on your fees. I'm going to insure more people. I want to make it affordable. Let's get people well. Let's fix some of these diseases, eliminate them. But no, they don't want to do that. And you know it, Spy Boy. They would rather have your butt and my butt sick for 20 or 30 years so I can keep buying the pharmaceutical drugs. I can keep coming back to the hospital. I can keep going to my medical doctor because that's what makes money for all of them, including the insurance company, because the insurance company is betting that against the odds. Okay, they're saying, you give me $300 a month, I'm betting that you're not going to need my assistance in health care more often than not. So that money goes into their coffer, because if you don't get sick for 5 years, you're paying them $300, $400, $500, or $1,000 a month and never use it. So the insurance companies are ahead. It's just like going to the casino. The casinos don't lose money when you win or lose. Period. It's the odds, dude. It's all math. It's not rocket science. So
All right,
if
so
they
that's
they're
one
greedy,
example of hate.
if they're greedy bastard insurance companies and our politicians would stop playing with our lives, we wouldn't be we wouldn't be having this conversation. Period. The hate-filled, racist, opportunist politicians in Washington, our House members and our Senate members, made this difficult for us because they don't care, because they've got free lifetime insurance. They don't care. It doesn't impact on them. And I hate to start sounding like one of these people that don't have any faith in the government. I do. But there's certain aspects of it that need to be changed. Is it going to change? Probably not. Why? Because it's not in their best interest. As long as everything is status quo, as long as the insurance companies are making billions and trillions of dollars, and they can spend a few million to support the politicians to not change the laws, then everybody is happy on that end. But you get sick, Spy Boy, and you don't have insurance, you're not going to get the care that you need. Or if you do, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. Or you will end up on some social program and you'll have to wait and take whatever they give you, and you probably won't get the quality health care that you need. Now, if we fixed all of those things that I just pointed out, if we got the money out of the hands of the politicians, eliminated the ability for lobbyists to come in and lobby and do what they do to poison the mind and sway the vote the way they want it, if that ended, that would be a major coup for the people in this country. And get rid of the career politicians. Major coup for this country. Those are the things that we need to focus in on. But that's not going to change because the politicians are not going to vote against themselves.
That's a lot of ifs. That's a lot of ifs and a lot of ifs. We'll be going for a long time.
And the question of the show has been why? Why? Because they don't want to change. They would rather keep it the way it is and keep doing what they're doing because it doesn't impact on them. Spy Boy, thanks for calling, buddy. I appreciate hearing from you, even though you need to go take a couple of aspirins to get rid of that headache. And I hope you're feeling better, brother. Let's talk later, okay?
All right.
All right, there's another edition of the Lee Michaels Show with Carol and company. We had a good show today. Had some guests come in. Carol came in with a bunch of whys. And we might do this again. I promise you. From time to time, we're going to have a show called Why, with the big question mark behind it. We got to start answering some of these. Why do things come out the way they do? Have a great day. Be peaceful. Say thank you to someone today. Give them a smile. You see a police officer, don't shoot them the bird. Give them a salute. All right, let's try that. A little kindness. God bless. Let's talk tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific time on thepowerofvoices.com. This has been another edition of the Lee Michaels Show. Have a great day.